Yeah.
Textbook closing down, and now they're on the
Oh,
Outside foot. You see that? It triggered on the one-time shot. That was dope.
I didn't.
That made the shot so much better.
Ooh.
Ortiz on the ball. Mathieu.
Oh yeah. Oh, they're all sliding. Yeah! I take the Rabona. I thought I shanked it wide, honestly, when I did it. I was like, no.
That was dirty.
You can just hit it to me short.
Alright.
Oh, shit.
Short.
Come on, bro. Wait, just stall for a sec? We're good?
Piece of skill.
Back post. Oh, that works. Wide
That
open.
works?
Let's go. The keeper is so dumb. He just moves like crazy.
And slipped through beautifully. And we need to get tighter here. Can they forge ahead? Yes is the answer.
Today I have for you guys a 5-4 full pace sweaty striker build for you guys that love to be those small and quick builds. I made a build and it's very overpowered, so let's dive straight into this player build. So we'll first talk about the height and weight of this speedster striker build, and of course we're 5'4", 119 pounds, and the main reason for this is how you get max pace. You got to go 5'4", you could also go 5'3", but if you just want to be an extra inch taller, you'll have the same exact attributes as 5'4" compared to 5'3", so you might as well go 5'4" just to get a little bit more height. And then you got to go 119 pounds or 99 pounds. It's the same thing. Doesn't matter. It won't change the attributes. 119 pounds is just the max you can go, and then if you bump it up any more, it'll change the attributes a bit. But in order to get the max 97 pace in pro clubs, you got to be 5'4" and 119 pounds. So that's what we went for. So now let's take a look at the perks that I like to use for this build, and also some suggestions of some other perks that could also be used with this build. The first perk that I would suggest putting on this build is the Skilled Dribbler to increase the dribbling even more, and then it'll also give you the flare trait so you can do fancy passes and stuff like that. Because I'm a big fan of it, and it can throw off the defense quite a bit with those fancy passes, and you can do those quick back heels. So your guy doesn't have to like turn around and pass the ball. You can just do a back heel to your teammate, and they can be very clutch in certain situations. So I'd suggest that, but there are some alternatives which we'll get to once I discuss these three that I suggest for this build. The next one is one-time shot. I really like this for striker builds just because you're going to have a lot of chances that are just going to be one-time shots. You're not going to have time to take a touch and then shoot it. So the one-time shot will just increase your finishing ability in front of goals with like volleys, headers, and just any one-time shot you have. And then it'll also give you the flare trait for like fancy shots, like fancy one-time shots, I guess like bicycle kicks, scorpion kicks, and certain stuff like that. And then it'll also give you the outside foot and finesse shot on one-time shots and the power header, which can be helpful. Even though you are a very small build, you're probably not going to get very many header chances, but if you do, the power header will help you maybe confirm that goal and give you more of a chance at finishing that opportunity. And then lastly, what the one-time shot does, which is probably one of the most helpful, is it increases your weak foot. We only have a 4-star weak foot on this build, like on the skill tree. We didn't go for the 5. There might be some alternatives to go for the 5 if y'all want. But this basically increases your weak foot to a 5-star weak foot on one-time shots, so it is pretty clutch. And then for the third perk, which is another perk that could be switched out, I would honestly suggest keeping the one-time shot. I just think it's really good for striker builds. Even though you are a smaller build, I just think it's pretty helpful. But another one that could be switched out, kind of depending on where you're going to be using this build, and also like what other builds your teammates are using. Like if you have a player that uses a bigger build kind of at striker more centrally and y'all like to cross it to him and he's good in the air, the pinpoint cross will be extremely helpful. And even if y'all don't really have a bigger player, there's going to be a lot of situations you'll be running wide with this build. Like you can even use this build on the wing. It doesn't have to be solely at striker. And just the pinpoint cross will help you a lot, especially because it gives you the 5-star weak foot. So if you're on your weak foot and you just want to whip the ball in, it'll just give you a 5-star weak foot, and the cross will be almost perfect because it increases your crossing accuracy as well as giving you the swerve, the flare trait on crosses, which I don't really use too much, I don't think, and then the early crosser trait, which will help a lot with getting those crosses to your teammates. So I'm a big fan of that, especially since this is a smaller build. You're very fast. You will catch yourself going wide a lot and being in situations where you're wanting to cross the ball to your teammates. So that's another suggestion. But again, you could easily switch this one out, the skill dribbler, if you don't want the flare trait, and possibly even this one with some other stuff like active first touch would be good. Distance shooter, if you guys like to take a lot of long shots. I use the distance shooter on this build for a bit, but I just don't take very many long shots, so I didn't utilize it, so there's really no point of me having it. And then yeah, those are really those other two perks that I would suggest using. And also, I don't really know how much active first touch will help this build, because you are already really fast with 97 pace. I don't know how much more it's actually going to boost that acceleration and sprint speed while you're running onto through balls. So that's kind of why I suggested just skill dribbler over active first touch. But for sure, you can go for the distance shooter. And then if some of y'all like these passing perks, I don't have the threaded pass one yet, but if some of y'all like the precision pass, y'all could do that as well and be a little bit more of a playmaker. But those are the 3 perks that I suggest on this build for my playstyle: is the skill dribbler, one-time shot, and pinpoint cross. So now let's talk about the skill tree on the build. So we're going to start with the pace page on this build. Since y'all already know that this build is max pace, 97 pace is the fastest you can get this year in FIFA 22 Pro Clubs. So I thought I'd just get this out of the way and show you guys that we got this page fully maxed out. So now we're going to hop on over to physical, where we only have one thing on the physical page. It is the +2 strength for 1 skill point, and we really only just had 1 extra skill point left in this build, and we needed somewhere to put it, so we just put it right here on strength. But there's really not much attributes on this physical page to shout about, other than like the 86 reactions, I guess, is really good as a base attribute for strikers. So now let's move over to dribbling. We got nothing on defending, of course, for this striker build, and this is where we have most of our skill points invested in, where we have 2 archetypes on here. We went for the Maestro archetype and the Lynx archetype to fully boost the dribbling on this build, and you feel hella silky with it, and it's very hard for defenders to steal the ball off of you just because you're so quick. And then we also got the 5-star skill moves, because I'm a big fan of 5-star skills, but for some of y'all that don't like the 5-star skills, what you will have to do is take this skill move off right here on the right side, and then you just have 4-star skill moves right there. But I'm a big fan of the 5-star skills. I'm always going to have them on my attacker builds, so I'm going to put it back on. But what you could do instead of this, using the 5 skill points on skill moves, would just be putting the rest of those skill points on the shooting page just to boost the shooting even more. That's what I would suggest. But for now, we're going to have the 5-star skills. And then what you're going to do on this left side is just go all the way down to the Maestro archetype, and that'll give you +5 ball control and +7 dribbling for 10 skill points. And then that'll get you to 94 ball control and 96 dribbling. Very good. And then we have the skill dribbler perk on as well, which will boost your dribbling even more. So you basically have 99 dribbling with this build. And then on the right side, what you're going to want to do is go down to this. I'm going to take it off first, go for the skill moves, and then go down to this agility right here. That'll give you +3 agility, and then go down to the Lynx archetype. And then what we wanted to do was just get that balance over 80. So this one will give you +3 balance for 3 skill points and get us to 93 agility, 82 balance, 94 ball control, and 96 dribbling. So very, very top-notch dribbling attributes on this build. You honestly can't get it much better. So if you're going to be using this build, make sure to take advantage of the absurd dribbling attributes on it, and use that agility, use those 5-star skill moves to get by people. And that'll wrap it up for the dribbling page. Let's look at passing, where we actually don't have anything on the passing page. So if y'all wanted to make this build a little bit better playmaking wise, y'all could. But since we are a very short build and we're a striker, our passing attributes are horrible. I believe if we're like a little bit of a taller striker, our vision would be better. But since we're really short, the passing is just not that great. But honestly, I didn't notice that the passing being that bad. But even if we upgrade it, it's really not going to bump it up too much, and it'll still be kind of average. So there's really no point of wasting skill points on this build. And we do only have 71 crossing, but remember, if y'all do put that pinpoint crosser perk on, it'll boost the crossing up even more, and it'll make it feel a lot better than what it says. So now let's take a look at the shooting page. This is where I want to add even more skill points once I level up and get more skill points unlocked. And for the people that don't want the 5-star skills, you could take that off and then get the extra, use those extra skill points onto this shooting page to boost it up even more. But what we did was go for the 4-star weak foot, and then you get these 3 long shots and the shot power right here. and then this 1 finishing, which is only 1 skill point for +2 finishing, and that'll get us to 86 finishing, which really isn't too bad. And then 73 shot power and 86 long shots. Shot power you can't expect to be very good since we are 5'4" and 119 pounds, so it's never going to be that good. Even if you got the finisher archetype, it's still not going to be in the 80s. You would have to come over here, get this shot power, and even this to bump it up even more, which is quite a bit of skill points. So we kind of just have to deal with the low shot power. But everything else is pretty average or above average. But if y'all wanted to boost it even more, what y'all could do, honestly, is take this Maestro archetype off, because it would still be very good dribbling, 89, 89, but you will tell a big difference taking it off. And then you could come over here and get more finishing, more finishing right here. Or what you could also do, I believe, is take this finishing off. If some of y'all want the 5-star weak foot, the permanent 5-star weak foot on the skill tree, y'all could do this right here and get the 5-star weak foot. So there is some wiggle room in what you could do on the shooting page, but for now this is what I have. And once I unlock more skill points, I'll probably boost this finishing up and get it over 90 to get it to a pretty respectable amount, and hopefully we'll be finishing our chances even more. But for now, this is what we have, and I'm going to put it back on the Maestro archetype because I really do like the boosted ball control and dribbling. You'll honestly tell a big difference with it off compared to with it on. But yeah, that's really it for this shooting page. Nothing much else to talk about. 80 volleys, 86 long shots, 73 shot power, 77 heading actually, and 86 finishing. Nothing is too great. Finishing is the best attribute. But again, once we boost it, get more skill points and boost the finishing up even more, and then possibly you could go over here and boost the free kick actually and shot power a bit if you'd like. Or maybe some of y'all want the finisher archetype, get crazy finishing, boost the shot power up, the long shots, the volleys, all of it. That could be an alternative as well for some of y'all that are higher level with more skill points. And that's going to do it for this Speedster Striker build in FIFA 22 Pro Clubs with the 97 max pace. Let me know if y'all do try this build out, how it went on for you. I'd love to hear that. And also, if y'all could hit that like button on this video and hit that subscribe button on my channel, I'd greatly appreciate it.